Good morning and welcome. Today is Tuesday, September 16th, and we are working on our 52 weeks of scrapbooking. We are at week 37. So if you're in the book, let's go to my desktop. It's Wonderful Days collection. If you went to my Scrapbook with Denise Facebook page, which the links are in the description below, it is genuine. And what I have on my desktop here is the genuine collection that we from when was this one? 2020, January 2020. So you'll see we're going to need a chain style border. And if you look here in the one from my Facebook group from Genuine, this brown in between is a sticker strip. As well as these over here are sticker strips as well. So what you need, as I said, is a chain style. And I'm going to be using Welcome Home, Welcome Autumn from a few years ago also, probably more than a few. And it is really close to our Grateful Harvest that just came out. So you're going to need 2 sheets for your background. So as I was saying, we need 2 sheets of paper for our background, and I'm just going to use white cardstock. They use navy in the Genuine and beige in the Wonderful Days. I'm just going to use white. And then you need 3 sheets of designer papers, and you are going to be using the reverse of all of them. So make sure that you like both sides, and if you don't, bring in another color, another paper, and that's not a problem. And then you will also need a chain style punch, and I am going to try Autumn Leaves. So, and of course you're going to need your trimmers and your tape runners. So let's get going on this. So for me, paper number 1 is where we're going to cut the borders. We're going to use both sides. We're also going to have these 2 big 6.5 by 4.5 inch mats, as well as these 3.25 by 3.25. So I'm going to be using the red, and then I've got this red and this gray that will be gray dots that will be reversed. Then paper number 2 is H and I. So these are these 2 papers that are going to go across the page. Okay, so that's going to be my green, and then you're going to be using the reverse. So I have to watch the direction on this one. So I think I might cut it actually with that side up, because I want this strip to be right back here, which is I. And then, excuse me, designer paper number 3 is my blue plaid, which is this coral. So that's going to be your outside edges, as well as these 2 mats on the reverse. Oh, sorry, that's this one here. So I've got to see that this one's going to be light enough, or not too light. So we'll see how that one works out. So let's get going. I'll just keep this one out. So the very first thing I'm going to do with my red, see if this is, if I think this is directional and it's not, is we are going to punch our 2 borders, and then we are going to cut them. Let me see what it says here, because it doesn't say. Trim them both to be 9 inches. So let's cut 2 borders first. And I'm cutting the leaves with the leaf paper. This one you have to watch because it does get stuck. So you have to be careful moving this along because the little leaves get stuck. So we will have another border. We are into September, it's almost fall, although I'm in Florida, so yeah, we don't get fall until December, if we do. Usually the leaves don't start falling till the spring. Well, let's put that one up there. So let's cut our second one. And one more. Let's get this one cut. And there's our last one. And then I'll trim those to 9 when I bring out my trimmer. We'll put that in the garbage. Just line these up a little bit better. My punch away and bring out my trimmer. So this sheet now will be, we're going to cut it at 6.5. And I'm cutting off that jagged edge from where I punched. So this will be 6.5. So this should be at least 9.25. And actually I'm only 9. And the reason that is because my punches are bigger than the border maker. So it's a good thing I checked. So what I am going to do is I'm going to have to make these a little bit smaller. So again, so if you use a standalone one like I did, we're going to have to change. So our mats are going to be a little bit smaller. Let's just go, I've only got 9 inches, so we're going to cut these 6. I'm just going to go 6 by 4. I'm going to make a little note. 6 by 4, and I'm going to cut these ones 3 by 3. So our photos will be a little bit smaller, but that's okay. So good thing I checked. So let's cut this at 6. So we're going to go 6 by 4. Make sure I don't mess that up. The ones on the Genuine that I did, because I had used a border maker cartridge, we were able to go to the 6.5. So just check that out if you're, what kind of border cartridge you're using, if it's a standalone, or if you are using a border maker cartridge. So these ones I could have gone, actually I could have gone 3 by 4, but I'm just going to keep them all the same. So that's our designer paper number 1. Now our designer paper number 2, I'm actually going to cut this 3 by 9 piece because that's what I want out of this one. So we're going to cut this 3 inches by 9. So I'm cutting J to start with. And I think I'm going to go this way only because I want more of this red color. So this is by 9. We're going to keep this one. I'm going to cut these 2 at 9 also while I have these out. And we're going to go each way. So this one, you know what, actually I'm going to wait till I put them on my page because I might actually fussy cut them in between. So I'm not going to cut those yet. Let's just leave those. So out of this other piece that should be 9 inches, it is, we are going to cut this at 7.5 and 4.5. I'm going to turn it over because I want these are going to go across your page. So I want where I cut it, I want the 7.5 inch side here and the 4.5 inch side here. So I am going to cut it this way because H, I'll show you why. H goes on this side and I goes on this side, right? And it's going to go across your page this way. So I am cutting it how it will go across my page. Hope that made sense. So that's why I did it this way. Because I'll have this one here, and there'll be 1.5 inches from the top and the bottom. Paper's a little tiny bit warped, it seems. Turn it over. Just not moving for me here. A little bit loose. So it's going to go like this across your page, and then this one will go beside it. So that's how these will fit. So let's go back. So I did that. So now we're on to the blue plaid. So we are going to be cutting 4.5. We're going to be using first. So 4.5, 4.5, and then 3. So 4.5. Oh, and of course I cut that at 4. Oh, that would be good. Phew, good thing I caught that, because I cut it at 4 instead of 4.5. You're probably yelling at me, which is great. So I just cut O, so not a problem. O goes on the right hand side. So let's do this again, and let's do it properly and cut it at 4.5. That was a At least I caught it, and I needed a 4-inch piece, so that worked out well. So this is 4.5. And we need, as I said, 2 of those, 4.5, 4.5, and this one down here should be 3, so we're great with those. And then this next one needs to be 2.5, and it's just a little bit bigger than 2.5. So we have a little 1-inch strip left over, and that one's going to go on the left. So let's get these all put together. So we already have O on here. And then M is that piece that we just cut. And there will be a little space left between here. So when we're lining these up, these pieces in the middle are going to be a 1/2 inch from the top and a 1/2 inch from the bottom. Let's see if I can get that straight. And then we have our mats. So K, this would be K. And then we have C. Now these is where they're not going to quite line up though, because this is 4.5 and this is 4. Doesn't bother me. That's fine. If it's going to bother me, I could cut these ones down, but I think I will be okay. We'll go there. My 3, which mine are now 3x3s, are going to kind of go in between here. So it depends. I might leave a little bit of white space. And again, because they're a little bit smaller, and I would have the option if I wanted, I could cut these down to be 4x4. Now my 2 borders, I am going to put in here, but this is where I wanted to see. Oh, and one is going to go each way. So I could go like this. I could go. And because it's the red and the red, I think what I want is, I'll put the polka dots first. And that, I just want to check something out of that, because that is the only thing from that piece number 1 that is actually showing the reverse color. Like, so I don't have this anywhere else. And actually these are the reverse. So I do have that brought in, and this can be a journaling box or a photo. So because I don't have this pattern anywhere else on my page, I think I might keep them both the red. What's on the back of that? Yeah, I think I might do that. So now what I'll do is I'll figure out where I want to put these borders, how I want them to come together. Because they actually do, there's a way to fit these like that, where I can fit them together, and then I can cut them down to be 9 inches. So the only thing missing on here, in Wonderful Days, they did not put a border along either side here. But if you go back to the Genuine one, you can see, and I'll bring my Genuine over back again. I used a sticker strip here, as well as on this side. And then they also had a sticker strip between here, which I don't think I need. I'm just going to use my red leaves. So again, so mine's a little bit different because my borders were thicker. These are only 4x6s, not 4.5 by 6.5, and these are only 3x3s, not 3.25. What I am going to do though is check to see with my Hello Autumn what I have for stickers left, if I have any, or any borders. See if I want to add anything. I could even just add like a little strip. I got a few strips of paper left, pretty much out of what's in this collection. Just want to see my mats. I wanted to check something. No, I see I'm almost out of mats too. Oh, here's some more mats. So I do have a few things left in here. I was going to check to see if I had any mats that had that red, you know, to make these being, I could mat these on the mats. don't have any other red ones left. One's orange. Let me just bring this up to the side. So since what I'm trying to see is since I cut those smaller, I could double mat them if I wanted to. There isn't any orange on here, so I was trying to figure out. I mean, I had a blue one. Don't want to use that. I don't think I want to bring in a different color plaid. I do have a darker green. So there's ways for me now to make these be the same since I had some mats left over. I mean, I could do that. So again, play with what you have. And I think that'll work fine. I like it. I'm going to trim down these. So again, my photos will be a little bit smaller. Actually, no, because these are 2 3/4. I can still do 2 3/4 on these, but instead of having a 1/2 inch, they're only going to have a 1/4 inch. I can still do my 4x4s on these two here. These two, because these mats are 4x6, my pictures are going to be 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. So that'll still work. That'll still work out. And now they've kind of lined up, and I brought some green into there. So I'm going to see if I have maybe any green I can put here, or maybe a strip along there. I'm going to see if I can find my sticker strips. So sorry. That is today's project recipe. Again, that was 37. So again, Wonderful Days or Genuine, which you can find on my Scrapbook with Denise Facebook page. And thanks for joining me. Happy scrapping, and we'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.